Hi, hello, it's me again. And it's a new year, which means I need more books to read. So we're here and we're gonna play my TBR board game. Okay, a lot of people I've seen have some sort of TBR board game that they've made. And I can't remember who I saw, but I'll link her channel in the description. She made one using the Game of Life, and that's where I got the idea to use this board. I think our rules are like completely different, and her board is a lot prettier than mine. So you should go watch her video. I'll be sure to link her. Okay, so the point of the game is as you play, you're picking up these different cards that stand in for a component of a book. So like time period, genre, page number. And by the end of the game, you're going to have all the components you need to pick out one specific book. And then as you play through too, you're picking up these bonus books. So by the end, you're going to have a like 5 to 6 book TBR. Okay, so if you can see, the yellow squares correspond to one of these color cards. So like in this section, up to the first stop sign, this corresponds to the green cards. So if you land on one of these, you pull one of the green cards. And then if you have multiple of these and you hit the stop sign, you just flip them over and you pick which one you like more. So like this is time period, so I could have picked 20th century or 18th century. And then you'll see there are some other colored spaces. So like this one I think is historical fiction. The purple is a different genre. One of these is like my cat has to pick which book I read. So it varies. So those are like the bonus books. And then I also built in on the green squares, that just means I get to buy a book. And then if you've ever played Life, you know there's like a lucky number situation. So I kept the lucky numbers and I'm gonna pick one. And then if I spin a lucky number, I also get to buy a book. Okay, so I'm gonna pick my lucky number and I'm gonna go with 8. This is me in my little car. And so I can either start on this side, and this is like my reread side. So if I go this way, the book I'm building is gonna be one I've already read before. And if I go on this side, it's a new book. So this time I'm gonna pick new book, I think. I have like 60 books I own that I need to read. I'm in kind of TBR shame. So we're gonna go this way. Also, I know the board, it's a little crusty dusty right now because it got folded away and the paint stuck and it's a whole thing, but I'm gonna clean it up, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna go with our first spin. 4. Okay, pull a green card, 18th century. Okay, we'll put that there and see if we get another yellow. 5. It's green, which means I get a free book. Well, it's not free, I have to pay for it with my own money, but you know, it feels like it's free. Okay, here we go again. 6. Blue, okay, I don't know what blue means, so I have to look it up. Okay, blue means that my husband has to pick a book for me, so that's kind of fun. So I'm gonna mark that down. Oh, okay, 1, which means I pull another green card. And this one is 20th century. Okay, so I'm at the end. I can hit the stop sign. So now I have to pick between 18th century or 20th century. The difficulty here is that I have no idea what else I'm gonna pick, so I could end up like with an 18th century 700-page biography. I don't know. I'm gonna go fun, the more interesting route, and we're going with 18th century. This feels like a risky decision. But we're doing it anyway because I'm cool and adventurous. Okay, next section. Oh, okay, wait. I could go this way and I could just not pick any of the pink, which is, let's see what, this section is fiction or nonfiction is what we're deciding. So either I go straight to the stop sign and I don't have a fiction, nonfiction caveat, or I chance it and I go, I think I'm gonna chance it. I think it's more fun to let the board pick. Here we go, pink, nonfiction. That feels like what I thought it was gonna be. Okay, spin for fun. It's 6, okay. So we have 18th century nonfiction. Okay, this next route is the orange card, so this is genre. So this is a real, it's make or break. 1. Oh, this is more difficult than I thought it would be. I'm gonna go in the middle here. A Western. Oh, okay. Another thing I forgot to kind of mention is that if you get something and it's kind of an impossible genre or like just a book that simply does not exist, then one of those things becomes mute. which we'll see if we have that problem at the end. Moot, not mute. Okay, good. We have another pull. World history. That feels a little more doable. And then a 10. Wow, I'm not really picking up a lot of extra books this time, which is, we'll see. Okay, mystery thriller. Okay, and that ends that little section. So I can, 18th century nonfiction Western, world history, or mystery thriller. I think the obvious choice, we're going with world history on that one. And then another kind of goal is like, ideally, these would be books I could pick from books I already own, so I can kind of knock those out. But if we get to the end and I just have to go buy a book, it's not the end of the world. Okay, 3. We're going this way so that I can actually pick up more extra books. Okay, pink is romance, which is interesting. Okay. 4. And another free book. Okay, 2. Okay, this one is gray. What does gray mean? Okay, so gray means that one of my cats has to pick my book, which I think is a fun one. 4. Oh, another free book for me. Okay, the last time I played this, I didn't get to buy any extra books, and now I'm buying, I feel like it's too many extra books. Okay, and another romance book. Okay, and that's the end of the line. And I actually didn't pick up any of the cards, which this one would have been a location. So we missed out on location, but that's okay. And then this last little section is page number. So you could either go the short way and probably not get a page number limit, but I kind of like to have it 5. Okay, we're just going off the top. Okay, 400 to 500. Another 5. Okay, and another pet pick, which is fun. Oh, okay, we have another option. Oh, cool. 700 to 800. Okay, and now we're at the end, so I have to pick. Wow, I wonder which one I'll pick. 400 to 500 or 700 to 800? Or 400 to 500, thank you. Okay, so we're at the end of the game, and we have our components. So I have to find a world history book from, not necessarily from, but about the 18th century, that's nonfiction and is 400 to 500 pages. So I have this book that we're going to find, that's the big Build the Book, and then I also picked up 5 extra books from my TBR. Okay, so my extra books, we have 2 pet picks, 1 my husband has to pick, and then 2 romance books. And these are books that I pull off of my TBR shelves that I already own. And we got our 3 free books that aren't really free, but I like to think that they're free. Okay, so that's a 6-book TBR for this round. At the end of each round, once I'm finished with the last book, I'll take the number of books I read, so 6, divided by 2, which means for finishing those books, I can pick up 3 more books. Okay, so now it's time to pick out our books. I think that counts. Oh, okay, we're back, and I finally have my first board game, TBR. Okay, first, we have our 2 romances, which I don't really own a lot of romance books. It's not like my favorite genre, but I do have a few. So, the first one, it's a Debbie McComber book, which I picked up at a little free library a while ago. I'm expecting this one to make its way to the donation pile, but it'll still be probably enjoyable. Also, if you want to know what it's about, just imagine a Hallmark movie. Okay, next up we have this one, which is Rest of the Story. The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. This one I got as a gift in, I'm pretty sure 2019, so I've had it for a long time, and just because of my convoluted TBR systems, I've never read it. But this one is about a girl who goes to a lake where she spent a lot of time with her dad and gets entangled in summer romance. Okay, next up is the one my husband picked for me, which is Pennin, I think is how you say that, by Vladimir Nabokov, which I think is how you say that too. I'm not really sure what this one is about. It says Pennin is a professor of Russian at an American college who takes the wrong train to deliver a lecture in a language he cannot master. So, it sounds interesting. It's Russian. We'll see how it goes. This is the one Bog picked for me. I think he must have been mad at me. I don't know. It's Jane Eyre. That's all we have to say. Okay, and because Spot loves me more, she picked Mary Higgins Clark, No Place Like Home, which will just be a classic. Thank you. She wanted to be here to talk about it. Just a classic Mary Higgins Clark thriller. It's just a thriller, but let's see what it's about. Oh, okay. It's about a girl who shot her mother when she was 10, trying to protect her from her strange stepfather. And then she has to go back there and deal with all of the fallout from that. Interesting. And lastly, we have the big one, the one that the board game picked, the 18th century nonfiction world history book. As you can tell, I went to half price books. And this one is about Marie Antoinette. It's Antonia Fraser wrote it. And that's kind of it. It's basically a Marie Antoinette biography. I've already started it, and so far it's been pretty good. So, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that wraps up our first ever playthrough of my TBR board game. Hopefully that made any sense to you. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. I know it's convoluted, but we have 6 books to get through. And part of this game is just to see how long it takes you to get through it, because you do get a little reward at the end. So you're kind of incentivized to read a little more. But we'll talk about that when I actually finish this TBR. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.